It's Anastasiia Martorella from Acronis. Thank you for joining me in today's live session. We will see the console, we will see the demo of the console Acronis Cyber Cloud and Acronis Cyber Protect Cloud. So we will start with the admin console, Acronis Cyber Cloud. Here you can see the list of your clients. You can see the consumption, you can configure the report. So we will see what useful things you can do in this console. Overview, you can check all the information about your customers divided by sections for one or another solution. You can see the amount of the workstation of the workloads that are added by accounts of your end customers for the addition per workload or per gigabyte. So for example, if you have 10 accounts that are using per workload model, you will see the information of all 10 accounts. The same for per gigabyte. Then we can check the operations section. This is some kind of reporting that we can also program in this section, and now we will go there also. So here you can see the operations of the workload. So the backup, how the backup is going, how the machines are protected. You can delete the widget that you do not want to see, and you can add the widget that you would like to see. It's easy searchable by keyword, or you can just open the section with one or another functionality to add it into the report. Let's go forward. Users. Here on the level of service provider, you can add more users from your service provider. If you want to add administrators or users or any other role for your end client, you just need to enter on the level of your end customer. And the same in the section users, you can add a new user. So here you can choose the roles for the management portal. You can see the roles for protection part and for other services. Then we pass to the report section. Here you can configure the report of the usage. So you can see the amount of workloads added to one or another account or the amount of the storage used for one or another account. In operations, we can see the same information as we saw in overview operations, but here we can program these reports to receive them on the emails on scheduled base. So we go on sections. Well, first we choose the report that we want to receive. We go to settings part. We can change the name, we can change the range, which information, which amount of the information we want to see in this kind of reports, 1 day, 7 days, 30 days, or this month. And then we schedule it. We put who are supposed to receive this kind of reports and file format, language, you can choose from any, and the periodicity when you want to receive this report. So the days or months or some hours, each hour, and the when. Then we go in audit log, and here we can check what has happened on this console, who signed into the service, when the account was created, when the account passed from trial mode to production mode, when quota was changed. If, for example, you are more than one admin in the organization, you can track this information, for example, here also. In settings, we are still on the level of client. So as you noticed, if we are in the level of client, we see only the information about this end customer. If you're on level of service provider, we see the information of all clients in the same sections that we just saw. So let me come back to the level of service provider and continue with the settings part. Now, then we will jump into the integration one. So in settings part, in location, you can add your storage or third-party storage if you have some kind of space already booked in third-party providers like Google, Amazon, Azure, or any others that support S3 and authentication version 2. So you are going here at backup storage, you download an ISO, you mount it as a virtual machine, you put a static IP on it. With this static IP, you enter the console, so you put it in the direction of the browser, and you just follow the administrator guide to link your server or to link third-party public storage. Then when you will add it, it will appear in this storage, for example, like these two. And then when you will create a customer account, you can freely choose it from Acronis. You can change it from Acronis to your own or to the third party. Branding. You can brand the console. You can change the name of the console. Instead of Acronis CyberCloud, it will be name of your company, CyberCloud. Like this, you will show your end customer that this solution is offered by you, not by Acronis. You can change logo and color scheme, the one that you have on your official page, so it will be even more your product. Then you are able to change these links for documentation and support. However, if your end customer will be will have no access to the console Acronis Cyber Protect, you will handle it by yourself. This part you can leave it as it is. The most important is this part and the down part, email server settings, because sometimes and the customer asks to receive reports about the successful endings of the backups, for example, one time in a week. And this mail, if this section is not configured, will your end customer will receive from no reply at acronis.com. Instead, if you will configure this section, your end customer will receive it from your domain. Let's go forward. Security. So here you can enable, disable some security settings. And one of the important settings in this console is agent update. From July's updates, it's possible to have automatic update of the agent. So you do not need to check when the update will be available and update the machines manually. You just enable this option, and when the update is available, your machines will be updated also. They just need to be online. And the section that we skipped because we were on the level of the customer, it's integration. So as a service provider, you can integrate the applications RMM or PSA that you are using already to Acronis CyberCloud and continue using them with the remote administrator of the Acronis Cyber Protect Cloud. So if you're using some other application RMM and PSA that is not present in the list, you can use RESTful API option and make a configuration manually. So let's create a test customer. We'll call it test. Mode trial that will change in 30 days in production. Language, well, I think that you will choose all Portuguese. Management mode, self-service if you are giving the administration to end customer. And you will not have access to the console Acronis Cyber Protect Cloud if you choose self-service. If you will decide to manage it by yourself, you choose logically managed by service provider. Then the security options. Two-factor authentication, as you see, it's enabled by default. Well, we recommend to have it. If you do not want, you can always disable it even after the creation of the account. Enhanced security mode, you see that with this mode, only encrypted backups are allowed. The configuration of this encryption made on the machine. So as soon as you install the agent, you need to perform the configuration of the encryption in the machine. And then each operation that you will do requires the confirmation from the machine. So you need to put the password on the machine. So as I told, this option can be disabled afterwards or enabled afterwards if you disable it during the configuration, initial configuration. But enhanced security mode cannot be enabled or disabled after the creation. So if you left it disabled, you are not able to enable it. The same if you enable it, you are not able to disable it. You need to create another account without enhanced security mode. Then we are creating administrator. You will need this name to activate the account. So you will receive on the email that you will put here, you will receive the activation mail. You need to click on it and you need to invent the password for this login username. And the first registration of the device, or better, the registration of the first device should be done with this login username, not with service provider, even if you mark it here as managed by service provider. After the first machine is registered, you are able to reconnect with your service provider credentials and jump into the customer's profile and configure the plans or add another devices. So you put the email of the administrator. It's the same that is registered for service provider account. First name and last name are optionals. Again, the language. This is the language of the activation mail. Then we go OK. Then we go next. No. Okay. No. Okay. Now we are selecting the services for this specific account. So let's start from these parts. These are just enable, disable if your end customer needed these services. Notary, the possibility to notarize and verify files using the blockchain technology and sign files electronically. Physical data shipping is linked to backup functionality if your end customers have really bad internet connection and are not able to do the first backup in cloud by themselves with this internet connection. They can put this first complete backup into a hard disk or USB, and you will send it, you as a service provider will send it to Acronis to put it into the cloud. And then the incremental backup will be done by end customer using their internet connection. File sync and share. So you can share, create, edit the files online. You have the web console for it, and you can install a client on the workstation or the applications on the mobile devices. There are two billing modes, per user and per gigabyte, but technically they are the same, one or another option. And the protection part, the one that we will see today. So here you can check, you can choose again by billing mode, per workload or per gigabyte. Technically, they are also the same. They have the same advanced specs. Choosing only the dot section will allow your client to have standard pack. What does it mean? The standard pack contains some security functionalities and backup that we checked in our previous meeting in the presentation. I showed you the PowerPoint presentation with the famous igloo, where there is written the options that are inside of this standard pack and then in advanced. Just to refresh, so the security part, CyberFit score, scan complete and fast, active protection of the backup, so it protects from ransomware and malware. It does not make to enter this malicious software into the backups. Then backup is on file level, image level, application backup, Microsoft SQL Exchange Active Directory, Microsoft 365, Google Workspace, websites. There are no limitation on the list of the virtualization host. So it's for a standard company that does not have any kind of specific infrastructure. Then you can add advanced specs depending on the necessity of the clients, and the console is helping you. So if you put the mouse on the eye image, it showed you the detail that are in one or another advanced spec. So as you can see, advanced backup, inside has the backup of Microsoft SQL in cluster, the same cluster of Microsoft Exchange, Oracle database, SAP HANA, continuous data protection that allows you making backups outside of the planification every time that some modification made on the machine, and data protection map. Data protection maps allow you prioritize the file extension. So stupid example about a company that's for them was important to have updated and checked from ransomware the files with PPTX. For example, they are working only with the not only with the presentation, but the presentation part is the most important part for them. So if we will configure data protection map for PPTX, all the operations that we enabled for this device will be prioritized by PPTX. So if it's backup, the first will be analyzed and backup the PPTX files. If it's anti-malware and ransomware protection, first will be analyzed this kind of files with this kind of extensions. If we enabled, for example, vulnerability assessment, the first will be assessed PowerPoint application. And the same for other functionalities. Going forward, we have advanced management pack. So inside we have vulnerability assessment that is present in standard pack, and with added integrated patch management, so we can update these applications that requires the updates directly from the console. We can do the massive update, we can do the manual update, we can do the automatic update. Then fail-safe patching. This allows us to make a backup before making the update. If something happened, we can just come back to the information that we just back up, and we will not lose anything. Asset management with software inventory. So in standard pack, we have hardware inventory. We can see the information of the hardware of the machines. In advanced management, we have also software inventory. So you can see the list of the application inside, the applications just installed, updated, or deleted. And drive health monitoring. So we will be able to choose to check in real time the health of the machines, and if something goes wrong, the console will issue us a warning, and we will have a time to change this kind of part from the machine in order not to lose it completely. Then we go into the security part. So here, obviously, we have real-time protection, antivirus, URL filtering, forensic backups, centralized backup scanning for malware. So if in standard pack we have only active protection that analyze the information before entering into the backup state. Here in advanced security, we have two other scans after the backup is done, and then safe recovery when we make a recovery of the backup. So the backup will be divided in blocks, and meanwhile, or first block will be verified, we can start to restore, or the console, we do not need to make the restore by block. The console will do it. So meanwhile, the second block is verified, we recovered the first block, and like this. Then we have a corporate whitelist, just to move some kind of processes or applications or files that will be considered accidentally by this antivirus as malicious. We can move them in corporate whitelist. And smart protection plans integration with CPOC alerts. This offers us a possibility to check the malware alerts in, let's say, real time. It's updated 24/7 if some malicious software will be will have a walk, let's say like this, in the internet on the territory of your country. You will see it in this section, and you will have the suggestions how to protect your device even better in order to avoid this kind of ransomware to enter your device. Then advanced email security. So this is the solution in collaboration with Perception Point. It has another console, but Acronis Cyber Protect Cloud will guide you to this console. It has the section Advanced Email Security. So with this functionality, you can protect even more your mailboxes, Microsoft 365, and Gmail. As you can see, we have inside anti-malware, anti-spam, URL scanning emails, DMARC analysis, anti-phishing, impersonation protection, attachment scan, content disarm and reconstruction, and graph of trust. So you have 7 steps, 7 levels of protection of your mails, and your mail is protected before it comes to the mailbox. And disaster recovery. In standard pack, we have disaster recovery, but only in trial mode. So here we can use disaster recovery in production mode. And in the standard pack, we have only cloud-only connection, so point to site. In advanced disaster recovery, we have site-to-site VPN connection and VPN IPsec multi-site connection, and also the possibility to use the runbooks. So let's go forward. I will choose all the packs to let you see that we can also put the quota for this advanced pack. So first goes standard protection, and here we can put the quota for these workloads as we prefer, how much we want to give space to our end customer. We have quota and overage. So when customer will reach quota limits, for example, 28 and 2, you and the end customer, obviously, if you registered this person to receive this kind of reports, will receive a notification that 28 workstations are already added, and he has only 2 workstation to add in order to understand if you want to modify this amount for bigger one. The same works for other workloads, and then we pass to advanced packs. The same, we put the quota and overage, works the same as on top. It is not obligatory that if you choose advanced, for example, advanced backup, that you will use this advanced backup with all the device. No. For example, our client has 30 workstation and 5 servers, and only one server has Oracle database, for example. So the 4 servers will be used in standard pack and 1 will be used in advanced. The same for advanced management, the limit of the workloads, how much you want to have the functionality of the management, advanced management. The same for security, email security, how much mailboxes will be protected. So here we have the backup of mailboxes, and there we have the security of mailboxes. It's not obligatory to have the same amount of the mailboxes backed and protected. For example, you want to backup all the mailboxes of all the employees of this company, but the protection are needed, for example, only for administrator part. And the limit for the storage, you can also put here. If you need to choose other storage, not Acronis one, you just need to disable this option and then choose another storage that you added with Acronis Cyber Infrastructure. You can put the limit here, the same quota and overage for backup, and then the quota for advanced disaster recovery. And we've created the account. It will appear here, mode trial, as you see. It's possible to change the billing mode if you decided that it's not comfortable for you to have per gigabyte, but it's more comfortable to have per workload. You just go in configure and change it in workload. You just need to confirm. And you have it in per workload. Another thing that you can do here in this section is edit quota. So when your customer reached the limit and say, I want more, you just go here, edit, you put new quota, and you save it. Now let's jump into the Acronis Cyber Protect Cloud console. And let's see what options we have here. So the first time when we access this console, we will see the pop-up screen asking us to download an agent, depending from which machine we are accessing. If we're okay, if we need to download it to this machine, we just click agent for Windows. I mean, there will be the one button, and you download it, you install it, and then you confirm, you register it. So there will be two big green buttons. The first one install, the second one register. It will redirect you to the console and it will show you the screen to confirm the registration. As soon as you confirm it, the device will appear here. So the visual by default is like this. And in order to start the backup, you just to create a plan, you just click on the setting part and choose the protect section. Personally, I do not like this kind of visual of this console because I cannot see all the details that I want to see, and I cannot see all the machines, so it's not comfortable. So I just click here in the table view, and I see more machines and more details. And when I click on one or another machine, I already have the options on the right. So let's imagine that this is our machine that we added recently. What we can do next? The next, we need to create a plan. To create a plan, you can do in two different modes. First, you can go into the plan section and create a general plan that you can apply then for the machines. Another mode is to create a plan directly to this machine, but you still can apply the same plan for other machines. I prefer this kind of option, but you can obviously create it through plan section. We can go also there because there are a lot of interesting functionalities. So we click on Protect, Add Plan, Create Plan. And here we can see all these options that can work individually, except disaster recovery because it works on top of backup. So for one machine, you can enable backup. For another machine, you can enable antivirus and anti-malware. For the third machine, URL filtering, and like this. Depends only on the necessity of the end customer and what you will offer for the end customer. So here you can see that these green options pertains to advanced pack, and you can see them here. So if, for example, you decided that this machine is supposed to go with the standard pack, you just avoid enabling these options. If you decide that this machine should go only, for example, with anti-malware advanced, you can simply put a mouse on top of this green image and it will say you to which advanced pack it pertains. So for example, this is advanced backup. We do not need for this machine because we decided that we will enable only the options for advanced security. Another thing, how you can be sure to enable or do not enable the options from the advanced pack to one or another machine, because when you add a lot of machines, it's not always possible to remember which one supposed to go with standard or advanced. Before going to create a plan, you can go on the details of the machine. So right after you installed an agent, you go here, and in the section service quota, if you decided that this is supposed to go with standard pack, but like this, you will not see any option for advanced for this specific machine. You choose the typology of the workload and included features. Like this, you know that this is standard pack, and you will not see any options for advanced pack. But if you need to see even the options from advanced security, and you do not need to enable other options, you still need to choose only the typology of the machine, and you will see the availability of all advanced pack that you enabled for this account. And in this case, you just need to be careful and to check it the plan to which advanced pack this option pertain. For example, this advanced disaster recovery, but obviously you can understand it logically that this pertains to advanced disaster recovery pack. So you can backup entire machine disk volumes, files, folders, or system state. In files folders, you can backup not only local folders, but also network folders. Then we discuss already continuous data protection. If you need, you enable it. If not, you leave it like this. This is advanced backup. Where to backup? By default, it's cloud storage, but you can choose local folder or network folder. Choosing these options for the storage as a first, you will see the possibility to add another position, another location for the backup for this machine. So some of the end customers prefer backing up to network folder and then to cloud. You can add up to 5 locations in the same plan. And every location has its own retention rules. So you can modify even this. You can play with the rules by backup age, by number of backups, or keep backups indefinitely. Then we can schedule it. And the Acronis offers you the possibility to make a backup from 1 time per year to every 10 minutes. You just decide what you want to do. Obviously, for the devices that you would like to use with disaster recovery, for example, we suggest more backups during the day in order not to lose any important information in case of disaster. And other options if you need them to enable. Then you can encrypt it. So if you remember, we had advanced security mode, advanced encryption mode. The encryption is done on the machine level. We, or for this account and for the accounts that we created, we did not have advanced security mode and enhanced security mode. So we can still encrypt the backups, but on the console level, if you wish. If not, you just disable this option. The backups are already encrypted by default with IS 256, sorry. And you can add the application backup also. But previously, you need to install an agent for these services. The agent you can install from the button Add Device. When we will finish with the plan, I will show you this button and all the list of the agents available to download. If you wish to make a backup only of the database, you still need to install an agent inside of the machine, or if it's a virtual machine, you can just install a virtualization host. And you can avoid backing up all the machine if you do not need to do it. You just can go on the section with this database. As soon as you install an agent, it will see it and create a plan only for backup of this database. Then disaster recovery, it creates the recovery server automatically, but from this section it's possible to do it manually, and usually I suggest to do it manually. Then antivirus and anti-malware protection. Here we can enable the options for antivirus, anti-malware. As you can see here, we have also advanced security pack. So in my example, we decided to enable only security for this device. So make sure to have these options enabled. You can enable also the scheduled scan, quick scan, and full scan. URL filtering, you can filter the internet pages where access this kind of user of this device. Then you can decide if you want to enable Windows Defender antivirus or no. You can configure vulnerability assessment, patch management, data protection map, we already discussed it, and device control. Here you can decide which type of devices will be allowed or not. So you just go here and you decide what you will allow and what you will deny or only read only. Then this part we can see the restore. This will be the restore from the native machine to the native machine. If we want to restore in the another machine, we just click into more ways to recover and decide how we will recover the information. Then we have remote desktop, RDP, HTML5. We can share the remote connection. It creates a link valid for 10 hours, and you can share it with the end customer, the one who wants access this machine remotely. And then we have also remote assistance. Then in these sections, we can see the individual patches of this machine, or we just simply go in software management, and we will see there the list of the patches available for all the machines. Then here we already checked the details part. Here we can see the software inventory, hardware inventory, and the USB devices that are connected to the machine or that had been connected to this machine. So the console has a memory of the devices that were connected before. Then this is the button Add, where you can see all the available agents. You just click on it and download. Microsoft 365 and Google Workspace does not require the agent. You just click on top and provide the administrator's credentials. Auto discovery part only for Windows requires you to install the first agent workstation or servers, and then it will call. You can use this option to call other devices that are located in Active Directory in the local network, or you can specify manually or import from files. So as I told you before, you can back up or the entire machine with a database, or you can back up only database alone. All the types of the backups, machines one, database one, mailboxes, offers you the possibility to restore the full backup or granular backup, so you can export the file that you need. Regarding Microsoft 365 or Google Workspace, depends on what you want to back up. You need to create different plans. So for example, you want to make a backup of Mailbox, then of SharePoint, then of OneDrive, then of Teams. You need to create different plan for each service that you want to backup. The same is for Google. If you want to backup Gmail or Google Drive, you need to create two different plans for the user. Then jumping into the plan section, you can see that we have already the plans created, and choosing one or another plan, we have the actions to do with it. The most interesting that I can see here is export and import. If you see that this generic plan can be valid also for another customer, and you do not want to waste the time on creating again and again the same backup plan, you just can export it and import it in another account of another customer. Disaster recovery. Here we can configure the connectivity. There will be 3 choices for you: point to site, and the VPN IPsec multi-site. You can freely change this type of connection. If, for example, you choose point to site, but then you decided that site to site is better, you can change it. So you do not pay for the type of connection. You just pay for using this service. So you can change the type of connection even every day. Just make sure to have it on the day of the disaster, like configure it completely. So here is the email security. This will guide us to the console of email security that we need to configure. So we need to add your organization here, and then we can see if there is some ransomware that already attacked our mailboxes. So you can see also in which levels it was blocked. For example, one was in threat intelligence layer and what it was. And another one for the last week was in anti-phishing level. Then we go into the anti-malware protection. Here we can see the files, the processes in quarantine, the whitelist. In software management, we can see patches available for the devices, vulnerabilities, the list of the vulnerabilities, and if there is a patch available, we just click here and initiate the update. Or we wait until the automatic updates will start. Software inventory. Here we can see the list of the software inside of the machine. Also, the applications that were installed and deleted and updated. In the backup storage, we can find all the backups done for all the device. Also, if the device was deleted from the device section, you can still find the backup here during the 7 days after the deletion. If you need to restore it after 7 days, it's only with the help of Acronis support. Then again, reports. If the customer has access to this console and ask you to configure the reports, you can say to the customer, you have this section on Acronis Cyber Protect Cloud console, so go and create the report that you want to receive. And the last part here is settings. Here you can see the list of the storages encrypted. So you do not see here the password that you are created. You just see in this storage there is a encrypted backup. And the last section that I will show you today, it will be agent part. So if you will enable automatic updates in Acronis Cyber Cloud console, you do not need to choose actually to check this console. You just need to be sure that the devices are online and the update will be done automatically. If you do not choose the option to update automatically, you just need to go and manually choose the device for which one the update is available. This is a sign of update, but this machine is offline, so I'm not able to update it. And click here the button update. And the last thing that I wanted to mention is that each our console has interrogative sign with the help section. Here it names documentation, so you can go here and check all the functionalities that we have with the steps how to configure one or another functionality. So this is all from my side. Thank you for your attention and have a nice day.